Topping our news this noontime, the pre-trial hearing for the BART shooting case resumed today after several days off. And the officer who was kneeling over the victim at the time of the shooting was on the witness stand this morning, and his testimony prompted an emotional reaction from the victim's family. KTVU's Claudine Wong joins us now with more from the courthouse. Good afternoon, Claudine.
Good afternoon, Tori. Yes, at this hour, BART police officer Tony Pirone is still on the stand. Now, he described himself this morning like an older brother to the defendant, former BART officer Johannes Mehserle, and says Mehserle looked up to him professionally. Tony Pirone is also what the defense describes as the most important witness in this case. Now, Officer Pirone has been on the stand. This is his second day. He was the first officer to arrive on scene on New Year's morning. He had gotten a call about a possible fight on the train, and he was the one who pulled Oscar Grant and his friends off the train. He testified today that before any other officer got on the platform, he had already pulled out his taser and activated it. Not because the group did anything wrong, but because he says he was outnumbered. Officer Pirone also testified today that Mehserle said moments before he shot Grant that he was going to tase him because he couldn't get his arms back and thought he might be reaching for his waist.
This man is a very big man. He's obviously a weightlifter. He's what they call in the vernacular, he's buffed. So you see him walking in and you know, I want him back to back with me if I'm a police officer in a fight on the street.
Officer Pirone says after the shot was fired, he was confused. He says he looked at Grant's back, expecting to see the probes of a taser, and instead he saw a black hole. He initially thought the taser had malfunctioned, but then says he went from arrest mode to life-saving mode. He says he held Grant's hand and asked, "You still with me? Stay with me, stay with me," and says when he asked Grant to squeeze his hand if he was still with him, Grant did. Now, all of the officers on the stand have testified that they never searched Grant or his friends, and that is something that the prosecutor is certainly taking issue with, because of course if they had been searched, Mehserle wouldn't have been worried that Grant might be reaching for a gun. The prosecutor has repeatedly asked Pirone why, if they thought there had been a fight and if he thought that these guys were armed or could be armed, why wouldn't he have searched them as they sat along the wall of the platform? Pirone testified it wasn't safe to do a pat-down search. At this point, we are in the cross-examination of Tony Pirone. Not sure how long it will take, but we do know that one of Grant's friends, a video expert, a taser training expert, and a San Leandro police officer are still on the defense witness list. Sources have said they wanted to wrap this up all by tomorrow, but if all of those people are allowed to testify, that might be a challenge. Live in Oakland, Claudine Wong, KTVU, Channel 2 News.
All right, thank you, Claudine.